Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshakar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episodes of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, in these episodes, we introduce to you emerging companies from emerging sectors and talk to the top managements of these companies, the promoters of these companies, and tell you about their company's business model, their business journey, and their growth plans, which are going to happen over the next few years. And today, friends, we have got a very interesting company, which is, Techknowgreen Solutions Limited. And we have with us Mr. Ajay Ojha, who is the promoter of the company. Ajay ji, welcome to the show and thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us. We are confident that we'll have a very productive discussion so that our investors can understand your company much better.
Thank you so much, and
Yeah,
a very good evening to you.
yeah. So Ajay ji, first question is which is very elementary. If you could explain to us, what is the main business model of our company, and which are the markets and which are the kind of services we cater to? Because your company is basically into consulting, into environmental services. So थोड़ा सा different है. So if you can tell us something about your business to start with, and then we can begin.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be with you. And in the next few minutes, I will try and give a grasp of the entire aspect of our business. Technogreen Solutions Limited, as you are hearing it right now, in fact, started in 2001, almost 22 years back, as Technogreen Environmental Solutions, which was a partnership firm. Technogreen Environmental Solutions about 20 years back was one of the prima facie businesses where environment as a regime was newly constituted in the Indian business scenario. Now, what has happened over a period of time is the environmental regime itself has changed quite a bit, and Technogreen has now become Technogreen Solutions Limited in 2023 with the entire concept of capitalizing on those changes that has happened over a period of time in the environmental space. And we have now become a limited company to work in three different verticals. The first vertical being consulting. In the consulting vertical, we work in two different streams. One is a regulatory stream, with the environment awareness being there amongst businesses and amongst people and the government as such. What has recently happened is the norms for environmental compliance has become stringent, and we are at the right spot where we have been providing services for industries to become environmental compliant in terms of not only the basic norms of local authorities, of state authorities and central authorities, whichever is applicable, but at the same time also taking it forward to beyond compliance levels, which a lot of MNCs and a lot of growing companies would like to see. And with our knowledge and education and our team, we are able to cater to their requirements as such. We are not limited to only consulting in environment business, but also the allied cross-selling products like we have petroleum requirements, safety requirements, local authority clearances requirements. So we work at all these levels, basically for permitting, and our major sector is environment impact assessment, because that has become a very interesting concept of predicting the environmental problems and mitigating it even before the project has come into picture. And that is our specialty. Right now, we work in multiple sectors of environmental impact assessment, and we are qualified by the NABET, which is the central government authority, which qualifies consultants to carry out such projects. So that has become our TRP in the EIA regime, in impact assessment. At the same time, what has happened is, as you are aware, that SEBI has made it compulsory for the first 1,000 listed companies as per their market cap to follow sustainability regimes and report sustainability. So last 3 years we are already geared up to these services, and we have already been working with multiple listed companies for preparing their sustainability reports. And going beyond, we also strategize not only industries but also their vendors and supply chain and cities as such. So we have also been working with the government of Maharashtra on creating carbon neutral cities, because carbon neutral is the buzzword. Indian government has declared by 2070 we will be actually carbon neutral as a country. And I strongly believe industry is one of the targets where people will look at as a very concentrated pockets where this sustainability can be brought in to meet the 2070 announcement of Indian government. So we are already there. We are working with them. We are strategizing their carbon footprints. We are also strategizing actual implementation and achievement of carbon neutrality and going carbon negative also in some cases. So that's an
Okay.
interesting. The second vertical that I
Okay.
was mentioning is technology. Now, in the technology vertical, we are technocrats. I'm a PhD in environmental chemistry, and we have skills of scaling up technologies and building, research-based products. So we work in wastewater sector where we have created our own technology, which is known as, circular economic wetland technology. You use certain grasses to treat wastewater, sewage. Industrial wastewater treatment is also one of the sectors which is extremely growing. We are there. We have already completed more than 300 projects in this sector. And also in terms of solid waste management. So, we always believe that till the time people are there would be waste which would be generated. And we are there in that space to manage those waste for people, for industries, and for the cities as a whole.
Okay.
So that is our
Okay.
technology. The recent thing in technology that has happened, Avinash ji, is that air pollution has become a centric issue. So if you look at Indian cities, there are almost 131 cities which are registered as non-attainment cities as per the Indian government. All these cities require city level, urban level air quality management plan. We have developed systems which now is going to be demonstrated in this entire state of Maharashtra as one of the technologies which can take care of urban air pollution problems in hotspots like traffic junctions and so on. So we are in the
Okay.
air regime, we are in the wastewater regime, and we are in the solid waste hazardous waste regime. Now, what has
Okay.
happened, sir? Including technology is not always the solution. We believe very strongly. You need to have digitization. You need to match with the expectations of people. Use artificial intelligence in management of environment as such. So we are the only company which is registered under the MSME IT regime as an environmental information technology company, and we create apps, we create quasi AI based artificial intelligence based softwares for compliance. We also make IoTs and so on that could be used to ease people's requirements of environmental compliance. And of
Okay.
course, as I was telling you, we are researchers, we are thinkers. So we do a lot of research. The third vertical that we work on is research. In that, we have two streams. The first stream is engineering research, where we develop technologies of the future. Like I told you about air pollution. Similarly, we still work on water pollution. We are creating a very interesting concept to use plastic bottles to treat wastewater, in simply. So such kind
Okay.
of technologies we are doing. And we also do policy research for the governments, for the pollution control boards, where we help them take intelligent decision using policy research analysis for not only government are our major this thing but at the same time industries also many times they come up with such problems as they want to replace certain fuel and they want to compute as to what could be the health benefit out of it, whether the policy is good or not. So this is the major class of environmental regimes that we work on. And Technogreen has been in this space for a long time, but here and there we have been working in bits and combining all these sectors. Now it is time that we are going to make an umbrella package of all these services which could be given to the governments and to the industries as such. So this is precisely what we have been doing for the last 22 years.
So I think Ajay ji very well explained and articulated by you. Now Ajay ji, tell me one thing. You said you all are into three verticals. That is technology, then typically research, as well as environmental kind of solutions. Now tell me one thing. How many people do you have on board? Like there might be a lot of professionals who do these activities. So what is the staff strength of your company? And typically, if you can tell me that what is your basic strength, and what is the kind of function you do in the company, and you have your partner also, what does he handle, so we could get a flavor of the management team, as well as what is the staff strength of your company as of now.
Absolutely. So we have around 72 people working for me right now, with me right now, and most of them fall in in three categories. One is primarily they are masters in environmental sciences and engineers who actually run our consulting businesses, and sustainability experts. At the same time, the second part is mostly the technology engineers, like for example, who are skilled in scale-ups, in safety, in mechanical engineering, in environmental engineering, and so on. They're majorly engineers. And the last regime, including the IT engineers, and the last regime is people who actually operate our plants at the lower, at the ground level. So this is
Okay.
how the distribution is, and I'm right now the managing director of the company, and I am usually the face of the company. But my partner Prasad Pawar, he actually runs the entire show, back of me. So he is the one who actually takes care of the people, who takes care of the projects implementation, and also running day to day, office in terms. I look majorly at the strategic level and also at the design level if I'm required at that point of time. So our regimes are very, distributed very clearly.
Okay. No, I think well said, Ajay. Now, Ajay, tell me one thing. I was reading your prospectus and trying to understand your business model. I believe you all are present in many industry verticals. Like you all are present in infra, then you all are present in auto, then real estate. So basically, tell me one thing. What is the size of the market opportunity? Because you all have been here for the last 20 years. We all understand that environmental issues are now very important, unlike what was there about 2 decades back. But now environmental issues are very important. All manufacturing companies have to follow a proper regulated kind of process. So tell me, what is the size of the opportunity if one were to consider in the next, say, 2 to 3 years? How much, in terms of the market size, can we assume that in India, this environmental issue is there? And along with you, who would be the comparable, companies? Do you have any comparable peers in the market, either in the unlisted space or the listed space? So, that can give us some idea about the market opportunity and the growth ahead.
No, absolutely. So there are multiple reports. It's very difficult to tell you exactly what the market size could be. But there are surrogate analysis which we keep on doing for our own business analysis. And I think the entire market, including the technology sector, including the consulting sector, and the sustainability and resource sector, the market is nothing less than 300 billion as such
Oh,
in the coming
okay,
years. Probably I'm
okay,
about 10 years. Yeah, 10 years from now. Now you'll be surprised, even just for cleaning Ganga, we have around 10,000 crore rupees, which has been, carved out by the Indian government. So you could imagine the markets, it is growing day by day.
absolutely.
And probably,
Okay,
out of the 10,000, probably 100 crores odd would be only for consulting and designing. But there is also
oh,
a technology space. And
okay,
sustainability business is growing ever. So if I look at carbon markets as such, carbon markets is huge, huge. I mean, I don't want to put any numbers as such, but you could imagine that the voluntary carbon markets and also the carbon reduction markets from the government regulatory regimes also is huge, massive. So I think
okay,
taking into consideration that space, we still occupy very small space in the whole market. But for each of our sectors, we have different competitors, and we have been doing SWOT analysis and whatnot in the recent times. And let me take you through what kind of competition we have. So if you look at the consulting market is run both by organized players and unorganized players. Like every architect has become now an environmental guy.
exactly.
Similarly, like Ultratech Consultancy is one which is in the space of environmental impact assessment, or you see BEIPL. There are so many. If you go to Thane area itself, you will find at least 500 consultants who are working in environmental space. So how are we different than them?
Yeah,
I'll go each step by step. So how are we different? We are different because we are giving all these services in the under one camp. This is a single window option for people. You don't have to go for technology and look for someone else. You don't have to go for project management consulting and look for someone else. It's all under one cap. One. Second is we are qualified by the National Accreditation Board to carry out the work, and we have all the certifications that you require in this space. But you go to sustainability, it's a different market altogether. The big fours occupy the major space in sustainability market as such.
Okay, okay,
But we are providing the services of sustainability not only in terms of reporting but also in terms of carbon capture. So that
okay,
becomes an added, because we are technology providers also at the same time.
okay,
You know,
okay,
similarly, if you look at wastewater sector and other sectors, in air sector, as far as technology at urban scale, there are only 13 companies we have identified in India. Out of that,
okay,
only 4 are selected for demonstration purposes in Maharashtra. Right. So we
okay,
are one of them. So in the wastewater sector, technology wise, we are in the non-conventional technologies. We do conventional technologies, but our major chunk is non-conventional technologies, and we are the biggest player in that. So we qualify for almost all the jobs across India, whichever comes in this sector. But at the same
okay,
time, there are other people also in the space, like IIT, for example, in the wastewater sector. So they are our competitors right now in the integrated wetland technology. But the idea is,
okay,
since we
okay,
have been doing this since the last almost 12, 13, 14 years, we are actually ahead of a little bit ahead. But
okay,
if you look at the research sector, research is an open sector. I mean, if you look at environmental research, there are a lot of agencies. For example, we ourselves are getting funding from the US government through the Environment Defense Fund to carry out research in Mumbai. So, we
okay.
have an edge over it. So, everywhere there is competition, no doubt about it. But that competition we have been able to really, come up with our integrated services and our educational background, especially.
Okay.
So, that's how the market is behaving as of now.
So fine, Ajay ji. Now tell me one thing in terms of the geographical reach. Which do you do business across pan India, or is it limited to few states? If you could just tell us something on that.
Sure, sure. So, as far as consulting is concerned, businesses of regulations, we work in Maharashtra majorly, but we also have worked in Karnataka, and now with we getting the certification from Government of India, we are able to work across the states. We already have footprints in few states, almost 4 to 5 states. In terms of technology, we are already done work in 18 states, implementation
Oh,
of technology. And in fact, we
okay,
have
okay,
gone in the Middle East also. We have strategic tie-up in the Middle East. We have put up a demonstration unit in the Middle East also now. And we are very soon, we have been working with SIDA, we have been working with, the Swedish agency, with the US Environment Protection Agency, with the USAID, on personal level and at the company level too. And
okay.
in terms of plans, we are planning to enter into the European market with the latest regulations on sustainability coming into picture.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Understood. Ajay ji, now tell me one thing that in terms of your customer base, if you could say, you all have got 20 years of experience in this business, that is consulting technology. Plus, you told me, the carbon market also is something which you all are, also specializing in. Broadly, what is the total number of active customers you have? And typically, when a customer signs up an agreement with you and tells you to do consulting or technology or something on the carbon side, I mean, how is the pricing decided? Is it a customized kind of product which you design for every customer, or is it like a off-the-shelf customer, like X customer has this requirement and you have a kind of product which is available, or I mean, is the pricing dynamic? What I'm trying to say is that suppose there is a project which is there for say 12 months, how is the pricing in the first place finalized, and is it a one-time sale, or every year do you require that sustainability report? Every year do you require your agency to come and give some sort of a kind of a certification? So these are very simple things, but we would like you to tell us how this works.
So there are certain services that we provide in terms of customized. Let's say if we are going consulting, that it's a customized business in environment. But in terms of certain services, like we have retainership businesses where it's a long-term businesses where the industries outsource their entire environmental compliance to us. That's a fixed price
Okay,
kind of a product which we provide.
okay,
In terms of information technology, we also have packages which run on a SaaS basis. We are just about to launch that project for environmental compliance, so
okay,
it's going to be a subscription model. At the same
okay,
time, in terms of carbon markets, it's repeated business year on year. Mostly, it is a simple escalation, that is being there. It's off the shelf kind of
Okay.
simple projects. R&D, yes, R&D is very open. Every project is packaged in the way, depending upon the scope.
Okay. So basically, for the carbon projects, you got an kind of ready product which you offer to the customer, right? Yeah. So Ajay ji, now tell me one thing in terms of the size of the current revenue of the company, the profitability of the company. If you could share some data points for FY23, and just to add to this, how many customers are there? Because people would like to know that in terms of the scale and size, you all have got a very rich experience of more than 20 years. Is it a big number or is it a very niche number which you work? And one more thing, is the business repetitive? Like for example, do you get a major portion of your revenue as repeat business, or is it like every new customer comes, he generates new top line for you? So how does it work?
It's a very interesting question, and we have been doing a lot of number crunching on this. But being in the consulting field, as you would be, you must have talked to a lot of people in consulting business. Uh, we have been very successful in terms of retaining our customers. So almost 30 to 40% of my customers are repeat customers,
Okay.
because as far as compliance is concerned, it's a repetitive job. But we also have almost 60-70% of the customers which are new customers, but the kind of services they require is almost in the same regime, in the same
Okay.
format. However,
Okay.
if you look at my existing life customers in our company, it's more than 100
Okay.
as of now, and we are growing,
Okay.
and we hope to grow much more in
Okay.
that region. And we have been serving. See, I told you that in terms of consulting businesses, we also, I specialize as a PhD. You were asking about my skill. Sorry, I forgot about that. My skill is data analytics, strategy, designing, and I also work in environmental crime investigation. You'll be surprised.
Okay.
This is a very new thing which is coming
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
That whenever there is an environmental issue, I am being called to investigate, because in my PhD I have developed a mathematical model by which you could find out the culprits of environmental damages.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so we are looked at differently in terms of our business strategies and our business services. But we have a great size of MNCs, like I tell you, like data centers. Almost 90% of the data centers in and around Mumbai, we are their environmental consultants and strategic
Okay.
partners in terms of
Okay.
environmental consulting, which is very upcoming businesses.
Yeah.
Similarly, in the
Exactly.
chemical industries, we have been working for a long, long, long time, and with clients like Ciplas, with clients like listed companies in specialty chemicals like Bulgaria Group of Industries, and so on.
Okay. So
So
understood.
that's what.
I think Ajay ji, I think the your answer has been very articulate. You all have answered my question. Now, just let me ask you broadly, since the company is now planning an IPO. If you could tell our viewers something basic about the company's financials, what is the revenue, what is the profit you all generated for FY23, and basically this IPO which we are planning. What is the size of the IPO? When are we planning this IPO? And what is the objective of raising this money? If you could please tell us.
Sure. So, 23 March, we did a business of around 15 crores, precisely 14.82 crores,
Yeah.
and with a PAT of 4.5 crores,
Yeah.
which was almost 35%, 40% odd we reached,
Yeah.
because there was also spillover of technology from the last year, and we have been growing at a great rate,
Yeah.
more than 50%, 60%, 100% every year on year basis. We are looking at a market that at an IPO of around 16.7 crores somewhere, with basically growth strategy planned in allotment in three sectors. One is we want to hire a lot of talents, because this is being a consulting and a designing firm. It is more talent oriented company. So we are going to allot money for talent hunt and talent retainership. The second
Okay.
is R&D. As I told you, R&D is the future, especially in carbon markets and in air sector, in urban air. So that's where we are going to put our money, some part of the money. Some part,
Okay.
of course, is expansion plans, because I have 70 people and I'm going to go to 100 people in the next 3 months. I need space, I need infrastructure, I need
Exactly.
softwares, people to do modeling, climate modeling, which are complex subjects right now.
Yeah.
So we are going to gear up ourselves in these 3-4 sectors where we are going to use the money.
Okay.
And hopefully the future is going to be bright with all this infrastructure being in place and people with us,
Yeah.
when they start believing in us.
No, definitely. In fact, Ajay ji, y'all are on the right track. I was seeing your financials, very strong numbers. Now, tell me one thing, Ajay ji, the kind of traction what we have seen in FY23 in terms of revenue, in terms of profit. I mean, without giving a number, Ajay ji, if you could tell us, what is the kind of action on ground? Like, do you think this growth can be sustained for the next 2 to 3 years? Looking at the big opportunity in consulting, in sustainability, the carbon market, y'all are in the right place in the right sectors. And since this is a service oriented skillful R&D kind of based business, what kind of growth in revenue can we expect in the next say 2 to 3 years?
So Avinash ji, I mean, you are asking me to tell you the trick that I have in my pocket.
So
But then,
without giving a number, at least share your outlook. That would be more than enough for our viewers.
so I'll tell you, I'll reach 3 times my revenue in the next three
Okay.
years very easily
Okay.
with the
Okay.
markets, and I'll sustain the profitability very
Yeah.
easily,
Okay.
because as you mentioned, we are on the right track, and we are also looking at geographical expansion. We as well as we are looking at service expansion, and one of our
Okay.
products on the subscription basis is going to add a lot of value in this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
R&D,
Understood.
the interesting part of how would we continue sustaining this kind of profit and probably achieve much more higher is that people's money on R&D. We actually
Ah.
gain money out of R&D, because people
Okay.
sponsor us R&D. So
Okay.
that's an
Okay.
added advantage. So we allot money in R&D infrastructure, but at the same time, we take a lot of R&D projects from abroad, from funds, from the government, helping them out, ease out their policies. So
Okay.
that kind
Understood.
of research actually is also a very field for our business.
Okay. No, understood. Ajay ji, one
I hope I
related
have.
question is our. Yeah, yeah. Ajay ji, you have answered it very well. My next question is this business, since you all are more on the service side of the business, is this business something like order book driven, like a manufacturing company, it sells products based on demand and supply. In our case, do we have some pipeline where some projects come in, some customers have got some requirements? So does it work on an order book basis, or is it purely on the basis of, existing customers requirements, the new customers coming in? So, if you can help me understand this aspect, like, is the order book concept relevant in our business?
Well, partly yes, because we are in the technology space. So
Okay.
there the order book works. But at the same time, if you look at consulting business as such, we have retainer business. See, people are pouring in money. India is a very vibrant economy as of now. So
Okay.
if you look at data centers, 3 years back, people were not talking much about data centers. But in the last 2 years, 3 years, we have seen a traction, and I myself, we have been working on, projects, each project worth more than 1,000 crores
Oh,
as their capex. And
exactly.
we are one of those businesses, and 10 of them are already there, and we are working on them. So
Okay.
order is in the technology sector, but as far as our consulting business is concerned, there is a huge potential, and there is a continuous requirement.
Okay.
Every I told you, even if there are 1,000 consultants, we are unable to cater to the requirements of the this thing. Like for example, distilleries. With the ethanol blend,
Ah,
EPP policy, every distillery now wants to go and produce ethanol, and every
okay.
ethanol production requires environmental clearance. We
Okay.
are ourselves doing almost more than 45 environmental, compliance projects for distilleries
Okay.
in the last few
Okay.
months.
Okay.
So
Understood.
it's growing.
Okay. Understood. Ajay ji,
Yeah.
now coming on the working capital side, since ours is a service oriented business, tell me one thing very simply, like, when we enter a contract, do we take the fee in advance? and then deliver the work, or it is payable on completion of the project? I just want to understand what is your working capital cycle. Like how many, how much time does the customer take to pay you?
So, usually there is an advance in the consulting business.
Okay.
Advance, let's say there are stage-wise payments which is done.
Okay.
And that is, if you look at my revenue share of my consulting versus technology, you will see in the last 3 years that I have gone from 35% about 3 years back in my consulting share to now 65% in my consulting business revenue.
Okay.
The only reason being technology implementation is extensively hampering the cash flows. It's
Exactly.
an expensive affair to
Exactly.
implement and turnkey projects. So we
Exactly.
are already adjusting ourselves to bring in our cash flows in a much easier form through
Okay.
consulting.
So understood. So
Yeah.
basically, you mean that some part of the order amount is already taken as an advance, and as the
Yes.
order progresses, then obviously consulting, which you say is about 55-60%, that is the reason the cash flows are comfortable, because obviously there you get an advance. But on
Absolutely.
the technology and on the carbon business, I believe there also you said you all are going to make inroads. So there gradually will we see some incremental revenue coming in over the next say 2 to 3 years from the technology and from the carbon
So
kind of
we are
initiative, because that is also a growing market according to me.
absolutely. So our research is more on carbon capture because we are looking that, henceforth after within 1 or 1.5 years, we would be coming up with carbon capture technologies to a great extent because that is a huge market, and it's a global market. At the
Yeah.
same time, as far as technology in air quality is concerned, I already told you that the government of India has allocated almost 70,000 crore rupees just to clean the air in 131 cities of India.
Exactly.
And we are there. And
Yeah.
Maharashtra itself has 19 non-attainment cities, and with the 15
Okay.
finance commission and
Yeah.
and the non-attainment cities in place, there is a huge potential in this business. So we are already
Okay.
there. We are pitching up for a lot of projects. We are building certain R&D products which would come as a sale on the shelf kind of a product,
Okay.
because we are right
Okay.
now more in the services sector and our technologies are more tailor made, but we are
Okay.
coming up with a product very soon.
Okay.
And of
Okay.
course,
Now,
combined all this together with a subscription model
yeah,
of an
I
IT
think
base.
that will work very well with you. Ajay ji, now tell me one thing that basically, since now COVID is over, obviously everything has become normal. On ground, you said, we have the potential to become 3x in the next 3 years. So you think more and more industries will be coming in the sustainability basket, in the, in the research basket, in the carbon capture market. So for you, uh, will 100 companies could easily become double, because obviously the market size itself is very large. So do you think that now this is going to be a kind of a very big opportunity in terms of people understanding the environmental aspect better than what it was about a couple of years back? Now today anybody puts up a new manufacturing facility, environment clearance, I mean regulatory issues are very clearly understood, so this has become a very paramount important issue. So with that in mind, do you think that this market is going to grow comfortably in say double digits for the next say 2 to 3 years? I'm saying the overall market.
Absolutely. We are going to be the third largest economy. Now, imagine this economy is going to work on the manufacturing front also and on the services front also.
Correct.
The beauty about our business is that it's a regulatory business in the first place, as well as it is beyond compliance business in many places.
Exactly.
So we fill in gaps at both the levels. And as far as sustainability markets are concerned, carbon markets are concerned, carbon capture market is concerned, those numbers, as I told you, I don't want to spell out as of now because there are no concrete numbers in this business.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
even if tomorrow, see, SEBI initially started with 250 companies. They came up with 500 companies, and now there are 1,000 companies making it compulsory for the sustainability reporting. I'm sure, in the recent times, the entire list of companies on the SEBI listing, including
Yeah.
SME and MSME, would be
Ah.
asked to do sustainability reporting. So even if I have 2,000 consultants who are working on sustainability, they will find enough jobs. That is what we feel
Okay.
very clear.
Exactly. Okay.
So everyone will have a job in this sector.
Okay. Okay. Ajay ji, on the export market side, do we have any potential or possibilities where our company can, also do something on the overseas market? Indian market, as you rightly said, is a huge opportunity for growth. But for the export market, do we have any plans, or do we want to focus largely on the domestic market opportunity first?
So as far as consulting in the core business is concerned, we are working majorly in Indian scenario. But as far as technology transfer is concerned, we
Ah,
already have a demonstration project done in the Middle East, in
okay.
Jeddah precisely. So we are already expanding and looking at Middle East market, especially in the wastewater sector, because
Okay.
there it's very interesting because the petrol there costed 10 rupees when we entered, and water costed 100 rupees.
Ah,
Whereas our market is the other way around. We have water
yeah.
bottle at 10 rupees and
Yeah.
petrol at 100
Exactly.
rupees. So there the wastewater market is very huge because they pay a
Okay.
very huge money to treat wastewater, especially
Okay.
sewage. So we have
Acha.
already explored and prepared plans for Middle East. As
Okay.
far as European markets are concerned and the US market is concerned, we are looking at sustainability and carbon capture as one of the regimes, and very soon we are planning, to do something in the US.
Okay.
I don't want to disclose it all today.
Ajay ji,
Let me
fine.
keep some
That is
secrets
fine,
with me.
Ajay ji. But I think
But
you mean
definitely there
export is
is
also going to be a big opportunity for us going forward. I mean, that is
absolutely,
what it is.
absolutely,
Okay.
and we are
Now, Ajay
exploring
ji,
that opportunity.
yeah, yeah. Ajay ji, last question now. Just to understand that every business has got certain risk attached. Like you all have been in the business for such a long time. Of course, our business is very stable, very reasonably growth has been seen. But typically in our business, according to you, you have been the promoter of this company. Tell me what is the main risk which our business faces, and if there is any risk like what you tell us, how is the risk mitigation done? So, if you could just give us an idea about what is the risk in this business and how risk mitigation is being done by our company.
So, three verticals, three major risks. Let me tell you. The first is consulting. You require talent, you require skill, and
Okay.
finding skilled people who are apt to take your place are not available. You have
Exactly.
to train them, you have to create that environment where they are going to be retained with you, they are going to stay with you, and also keep on adding to their skills. So,
Exactly.
talented people, skilled people is one of the major risks, because people, every person after 6 or 10 months feels that he's become an environment consultant and he can handle environmental projects at least
Yeah.
at a smaller scale. So
Okay.
that becomes a real risk,
Okay.
and we have been facing
Okay.
this problem for a long time. Somehow we have been able to cope up. I have
Ah,
people who have stayed with me for more than 10 years. Almost,
okay.
almost 30-40% of my people have stayed with me for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Very
we
good.
have been lucky enough to, and those people who have left me are also asking us to come back.
Okay.
And we are looking at those people, they are potentially very good.
Exactly.
So, that is in the consult. In the technology sector, it is the cash flow which matters.
Exactly.
It's a money intensive project, and especially if you look at the spending in terms of environment infrastructure in India, it's more of a government spending.
Exactly.
Now, the moment you have government spending, your cash flow cycle actually requires a lot of backup.
Exactly.
Till now, we were working with debt, and equity was never in our mind. Thanks to BSC now giving us an opportunity that we can go public, and
Exactly.
we could have other options as well. So cash
Exactly.
flow in the technology and in the research sector, as research is a research. It's always a research, and it has its own risk, especially with success of the technology and scale ups of the technology. See,
Yeah.
research,
Exactly.
we know how easy or difficult it is. The problem comes with scaling of the technology into the
Exactly.
market.
Exactly.
And then, so we have an experience in scaling up of one or two technologies. So we have that kind of a background experience of how the acceptability can be moduled. And
Exactly.
plus, all these sectors, all this risk we are mitigating by also by our specialization in training and sensitization. We conduct
Okay.
a lot of workshops. It also becomes our pitch for our markets.
Okay.
uh, and by God's grace, we have not been doing marketing wholeheartedly. We have never done a cold call. I'm not so proud about that, but we haven't done any cold calls till now, but we have been doing businesses because it's the quality of our outputs and delivery that has put the word in the market that we are reliable people.
I think very nicely put out, Ajayji. I think thank you very much for your valuable time, and my best wishes to you, your entire management team, and best wishes for your forthcoming IPO. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Avinash ji, and thank you for the opportunity. I love speaking with you, and I'm looking forward for more interactions with you on many forefronts.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.